not so much about the destination. It's more about the journey that gets you to that destination, that gives you that triumph feeling, because at the end of it, you're like, dang, I did that shit. Fuck yeah, I did that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Yeah. You can feel good about yourself,
yeah, and like
but you
that
can also feel good about all the little wins that you accumulated over
alone.
that journey. So it's not just that one big high, like, hey, I did
Hmm.
it. And then because when you get to that point, you're like, okay, now what's next?
Welcome to the Be More Happy Show. I'm your host, Moris Chasson, confidence coach for bold introverts. I help introverts overcome fear and maximize the performance so they can excel in extroverted careers, feeling good about themselves. On this episode, I have my good friend Lance. Lance, he's an artist. He works at Club 4. And me and Lance, we kind of grew up a friendship with Tim working at Club 4. We just enjoy each other's company, man. Like I think we appreciate each other a lot. In a weird sense, I feel like it's a mirror. Whenever I look at him, I see so much of me, and when I think whenever he looks at me, he sees so much of himself, and I love that because we just have that connection. And in this episode, we just talk a little bit about everything, mindset, gym stuff. We talk about diet, overcoming challenges with 75 hard, and me and Lance basically we're just having conversations. So it's really like a casual time. It's a good one. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you enjoy it. See you later. Like it's hard for people to even get that courage to even show up, especially every
Oh
single
yeah,
day. You know what I mean? And like I think she plans to go Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
that's a good.
Which,
I mean, that's a good starting point.
yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
overload it in the beginning because I think what a lot of people, and I myself included, and I still have my struggles of staying consistent, and then I'm good, and then I kind of fall back. I mean, but especially when you're starting out, I mean, you want to kind of do it in smaller doses just to build, like we talked about today, like building momentum, building that
Hmm.
confidence. Because, like I know for Emily, like she wants to start working out and she wants me to help her, and I want to help her, but she's really not like she doesn't want to go to the gym. And it's like I respect that because there's a lot of people that I talk to at the gym that are scared, but they're just at the point where they're just ready to make a change.
Hmm.
And that's why I tell everybody too, like while I'm there, just don't hesitate to ask for help because the last thing we want people to do in any like environment is to give up before you even start. And there's so many people who, myself included, but it was a little different because I've been in sports my whole life. So I've been introduced to the gym at a very young age, at HL, but also powerhouse. I mean, body elite before that, and that was, and for me at 15 years old, that was a pretty scary environment. I'm not going to lie because I'm this young kid in junior high, high school, and there's all these big bodybuilders, power lifters, and that was the spot to be, back in the
Hmm.
day.
Yeah.
But for those newcomers, I think she will because she'll have a good support. And I mean, you're over there and I'm there too. So she's got us to kind of help give her a little bit of motivation and just do it in bits,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's all about confidence, I think. The biggest
Hmm.
thing,
I think
you know.
that key is just going no matter what, because
Yeah.
in time you're gonna be okay. Like you'll be like, damn, this isn't so bad. But you know what? I say that, Lance, but you know what? There's some days where even I, like on a packed gym, I'm like, dang, they got a lot of fucking people here today. I'm not
I
I
know.
don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like excuse me. I'm okay with working out in a packed gym, but not walking into a packed gym. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
crowd comes while I'm there, and like it's
It's
okay.
okay.
I'm
You're
fine
you're
with it.
already you're already in it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you get there and it's already parking lots loaded and it's like, okay, I'm gonna see y'all later.
Yeah. Dude, I've done it once at Club 4, but I can't tell you how many times I did it at Powerhouse. Powerhouse and
Yeah.
Planet Fitness. Like I was like, fuck that. I'm not going today. No, I'm
Yeah,
good. You know
absolutely.
what I mean? But
Yeah, because
those
even
are the
at like
days I
the
think that we should push anyway and go make it fucking happen.
absolutely, yeah.
Because
Because motivation is fleeting. I was thinking about that earlier today because that's very relevant to all of us, like especially me right now, because I've been kind of last year I had a really good like transformation turnaround from January to about April. I had a really big transition, a big change, and it was consistency in the small things. You know, it was for me. It came down to I had to track all my food, like every bit that came into my mouth. I had to track it. I tracked my water, my workouts. I mean, I was reading, different books, just like because I was doing 75 hard at the time, and
That's
we've
hard.
talked about that before. I had a good little run earlier this year. I was like 28 days in, and I just had one day where I missed something. It was I needed to do another workout, and I had been getting to bed late, and I was trying to like prioritize earlier in the day, but I just gave in to I'm just gonna start over tomorrow. And I mean, I did, but then that led to one thing, and that led to me giving up again and again. And it's like it just snowballed. And like you said, those days are definitely the days where we need to just suck it up and just do it. As much
Hmm.
as it sucks, as tired as you are, maybe as much as you're hurting, especially when you're starting out fresh in the gym, you're gonna hurt in places you never knew you could hurt,
Oh, you're not
and
lying about that.
it can be discouraging, whenever you don't know what DOMS is or delayed onset muscle syndrome is, and you find out real quick. You're
Your
like,
ass
man, I
can't
don't want
walk.
to
You
do
can't
this
sit on
no
the
more.
toilet. Look, I told Paige. I said, look, Paige. I said the first 2 or 3 weeks, do like 2 sets of everything. 2 sets of 12 to 14, some 12, 15, whatever, and just take it easy because you got to get your muscles and your tendons ready
Yeah,
for it. You don't want to go all in like some. I've said I've seen some personal trainers. They'll take you through a workout and they'll wear your ass out just
yeah,
so that you feel sore and you feel like it worked really good. You know what I mean?
right.
Which in
Well,
my
they
in
say the
my
burn
opinion,
says it's working.
yeah, which in my opinion, that's a fucked up way to do to people. Because
Yeah,
sure, like you want them to feel it, of course, but I mean, you don't want them to fucking hurt where they can't walk and enjoy life anymore. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
absolutely. Yeah, whenever you're
Because
trying to squat down on the toilet and you can't get up, you know,
man, like
and it's one of those things that you know, you definitely like whenever you're deconditioned. That's what I tell my wife all the time because I'm guilty. I've done that before with her. Like when I was still in the Marine Corps, she was coming to work out with me at the gym on base, and well, I also gave her a little bit too much pre-workout for her first time. So we had her doing all kind of sets, all kind of stuff, and then she's on the treadmill, the elliptical, just getting after it. And then she was hurting for days, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll never do that again,"
yeah,
because I mean, like you said, you gotta when you're deconditioned, you have to come at it at a slower approach. That doesn't mean take it easy completely, but
hmm,
like you said, that doesn't mean kill yourself to the point where you're not going to be able to show up tomorrow and do
yeah.
something.
Well,
You're going to be hurting, and that's just part of it. But you learn to thrive. Push through that pain,
mhm.
and that's really where that confidence comes in. Is where you know you still got your workout. If it's a long day, you still got to go to the gym and work out, and you don't want to. Everything in your mind, our mind is it knows all our weaknesses, and it plays those games like it's okay. You could just give up today, or
Yeah.
you could just take it easy. But
Hmm.
fighting through that, and like Andy Frisella with first of all, that's doing 75 hard. I listen to a lot of his podcasts, a lot of his stuff, and like he calls it the bitch voice.
Hmm.
But it's absolutely 100% spot on because you will tell yourself these, different dialogues that you can't do it or why are you doing this? And I had that question myself a lot during 75 hard. I'm like, why am I out here in this storming rain? Like for example, there was one, night where I was doing my workout and I had did everything up until this point, and I was pretty deep into the program. I mean, 75 days is a long time, but it's not a long time,
Hmm.
and if you stick to it, do it the right way, the results speak for themselves. And like your mental thought process changes. So
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't know, probably 50, 60 days in at least. And it was later in the evening and I had to do my outdoor workout, 45 minutes. So, we're at the trailer and it's storming. I mean, it is like the worst possible weather for me to do this, and I probably shouldn't have done this. I mean, it's thunder and lightning, and so I go out and I'm like, you know what? I got to do it. I don't want to do it. I wanted to quit, but I was like, I'm too far into this program. I can't quit now.
Yeah, you don't want to start over.
So I was like, no, because
Not
I'm
day
like,
60, day 60,
no,
day 55, whatever. Oh,
when
fuck
you're in
no.
the
I'm not
high
starting over.
50s, yeah, when you're in the high 50s, low, like the early 60s and 75 hard, the thought of you quitting, and look, and I'll caveat that after this because there was another spot where I was only a few days away and I almost gave up, but I'll elaborate. But with this, I mean, it's the worst weather possible, and I'm just walking. Literally, I just did a 45-minute walk in my yard, soaking wet. There was a couple of times I actually even paused my workout and went inside because the lightning got so bad, and it's like late at night too. It's like
Damn.
11:30, 12 o'clock. And Emily's right there by the door, like just she's like, you know, whenever it kind of cools, it calms down a little bit, just get out there and finish it. Because like, and having to stop it and start, I was like, I didn't want to have to do that, but that made me really not want to finish it. But then I was like, you know what? I just got to do it. So I'm out there literally just praying to God that I don't get struck by lightning, that something crazy doesn't happen. And, by the grace of God, he got me through that workout. And I finished that workout, showered up, and then rinse and repeat, got ready for the next day. But the
That's
biggest, I
awesome.
think, test day I had with 75 hard was probably day 73, 71, or 72, 73. And the reason was because so we went to Utah. So all through that I was traveling and hitting my workouts. I mean, we drove. So like before the first day we
You
drove
was
out,
traveling and you still doing 75 hard?
yeah. Yeah, so we were
Fuck.
going we drove
Oh.
out to Utah to visit some family because that's where Emily's family's from. We're going to see her grandma and one of her dads. It wasn't her real dad, but one of her dads. So we drove and we drove all the way. It's about a 2-day drive. So we drove, especially with little ones. They got to stop and go to the bathroom and stuff. So, but before we got on the road, I woke up and I can't remember what I did. I either did the elliptical or I went outside and ran. And then we drove for probably about, well, 10 or 11 hours. Finally get to where we were at. And I threw my running shoes on and I went running around the hotel where we were staying. And then the next morning, I woke up, did a workout in the little hotel gym. And then when we got to where we were at, probably at like 10 o'clock at night, I threw my flak on because I still have I have like a plate carrier with sappies in my bags and I trade sometimes with my flak. And we were out in Utah and I threw my flak on and I just went for a 45-minute walk, and it was colder once we got over there. So I was freezing. So it was like perfect 75 hard weather to just get out in the elements and just grit through everything. But I finished it. It was the return trip back when we finally, because we got extended out there 2 weeks because where we were at, we were trying to cross over the mountain and they had like a blizzard basically, and the path that we would have had to go up and over it was snowed on. So we waited we got extended like an extra week or so, and we just kind of went around because it was just a lot safer. So through all of that, I even where we were at visiting her other family, like I was going out there and it was like 20 degrees outside. I ended up getting bronchitis and I was fighting through that to go through, and it
It
was
was,
it was brutal. And talk about, finding that mental fortitude, that mental toughness. It was to finish what I started, especially being so close to the end because, at the beginning of the year, I started the First Form 8-week challenge. So I did the 8-week challenge within the First Form app because that's what I use to track all my macros and stuff like that. Well, I started at 223 pounds, which for my height, if it's not muscle, it's probably not good weight. And I was just, bigger belly. I just put on a lot of weight from going to school, just not looking good, not feeling good, So I was like, I was ready for a change. So, and I had tried 75 hard a few times before, and I was like, you know what? The mindset shift came when I was like, let's not try it. Let's do it. Like,
yeah.
no trying. We got to
Hmm.
do it. So, and I did it, and it was tough, but I made it through those days. But it was like day 73. We had just finally got back home. I still had two workouts to do. I still had 10 pages to read and to finish my water. And the thing with the workouts is they have to be 45 minutes. One has to be outside. The other one can be inside or outside. But if it's raining or it's cold, it's hot, you got to do it in the elements because it teaches you that, conditions are not always going to be the best.
Still gotta do it.
But the thing with the workouts too is you got to wait 3 hours in between. So we got back home at about 8:30 at night. I get home and do the first workout. So now I have to wait 3 hours to do the second workout. And I'm like reading my pages, like falling asleep. Emily's staying up. She's a trooper. Like she was like the backbone throughout the whole thing. Because I mean, I
Awesome.
was still there, like helping with the kids, but a lot of days I'd go do my workout in the evening and she was home and she was just taking care of the kids, taking care of the house. So it was like she took the brunt of everything, like a lot of times that she's done. So that's why she's like, that's my chick, like that's my ride or die, and she has
That's
my
awesome.
back and I got her back, and but she was really like that biggest support, and I was like, screw this, I don't want to do it. Like I was like kicking and screaming, like I do not want to finish this. I want to go to bed.
I'm
She's
done.
like, no, you're not. You're 2 days away from finishing. And I mean, at that time, I was definitely grateful the next day when I woke up and it was day 74 and I just had to do my stuff. And I was like, thanks for not letting me quit. She's like, I wasn't going to let you stop that soon, that close to finishing.
Yeah.
And it paid off because I finished the program and I went from 223 pounds. And at the 8 week mark, I was down to 182 pounds.
God.
And
Dog.
yeah, and I was looking at, we were like after, because I still had, to finish the program, but I was through like 56 days worth. And we're looking at pictures. I was like, man, I don't like remember being that big. I remember I was like, I had a little weight, but I was like, I didn't think I was that big. And Emily was like, I didn't notice. I mean, I love you the way you are, but like, I really didn't notice that you were that big. And I was like, whew. I was big. I was getting big, I was getting hefty because I got out of the Marine Corps. I stopped running. I started eating, lifting heavy weights, but then I was in college. So that the stress of staying up late, studying for exams, and then still trying to do the best I could with being a dad and a husband.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a lot. And then also trying to battle and deal with, like the PTSD that I didn't really realize I was going through. So that added a whole other element to things, so, but, I pushed through. She made me not quit, and then I did another 30 days for like phase one. Because I ended up falling off. I didn't complete the full live hard, which is one of my goals to do. I just got to get back to that mentality and like just do it. But
Is that the other
the
75, the other version of the 75 hard where you got to do like
it's
10
part,
minute visualization and
yeah. So that's like the second. So you got 75 hard is like the boot camp because it's the live hard program. So you do 75 hard, and then you can start phase one right away. And it's basically everything you were doing is 75 hard, but you got to add 10 minutes of active visualization. You got to do a 5 minute cold shower, and like I think it was three more like power list tasks. So, and that's just on top of everything you were already doing.
mhm.
So I made it through. I did phase one, and at the end of phase one, from the end of 75 hard to the end of phase one is only like 30 days, and the transformation just in 30 days in my physique, I mean, it was like I was in better shape than I was in the Marine Corps. I mean, I was shredded. I had like veins popping on like my abdomen area that I've never had veins popping through, and I was just like I was eating a very lean diet, very strict still, but I was eating and I was lifting and running, and it got me into, and so total numbers was like 48 pounds,
That's incredible.
and from about January to April, I think. So it was
Damn.
wild,
That's crazy.
and it
Look, that 75 hard is no joke. I,
it
I did
it's a
9 days.
beast.
9 days was the longest I went.
I had many 9 days where I did 9 days, and I just was like, And I mean, and look, I was talking to my advisor this year about how we made it through that because like I was going for the $50,000 because there's like a $50,000 first place winner. I was like for my advisor's team, I was like the top one, and I was one of the few like runner ups. So like I almost got selected, I think, to win. I was just, off like the one guy who won, he just had a better, I think he lost a little bit more weight than me, but from what his before picture was to what his after was, it was just a better like transformation. Now, had I had the 30 days of results added to like what my post phase one physique would have been, if that would have been at the 75-day mark, I probably would have won then. But, coulda, shoulda, woulda, probably. It doesn't matter. I mean, I looked at it and I still won because I lost all that weight. And it did shift some things mentally. But, unfortunately, I dropped off of second phase and I was just kind of like trying to restart everything. And then a new job and things happen and then I kind of started to go back to some of those old habits. Like I said, even me, like I haven't struggled with consistency, and so right now that's what I'm trying to build back into that, you know checking off things off my list, little small list of things to do, and win the day, basically win the
Yeah.
day, and you know build those small wins and build that momentum. So
No, man, I think that's the key to being proud of yourself. Do something every single day that makes yourself proud. Like
yes.
no matter what that is. It could be reading a book, just starting a book, and you read fucking 5 pages. But if
Yep.
that's what you set yourself for, read those 5 pages, and you'll feel
And do
better. You
it.
know what I'm saying? If you want to go to the gym for 30 minutes, whatever, just anything to make yourself proud
Yeah.
of you.
Oh
Because
yeah.
a lot of times we'll self-sabotage and we'll beat ourselves up because we'll say, oh, we're going to do this tomorrow. We're going to do this tomorrow. You know what I mean? But then tomorrow comes and we don't do any of it.
Right. Yeah.
And at the end of that day, we're like, damn, bro, like I said I was going to do this and I didn't do it. I said I was
Yeah.
going to do this and I didn't do it. Then like you just start thinking of yourself as like a piece of shit almost. You know what I mean? And like
Right.
you
Oh yeah.
just,
And you're like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I just do the simple things? Eat well,
mm-hmm,
as far as like, because like I still will typically, even if I'm not doing 75 hard, I'll still typically set up my task list to be like, okay, track your macros, drink a gallon of water, at least get one workout in, you know, and read 10 pages. So you're constantly learning, you're constantly working your brain, also taking in that information to apply. But that's the big difference with that too, is there's a difference between reading it and also applying what you're reading, because that's where you actually will push yourself forward. Because
mm-hmm.
what I learned with that program is very easy to get to a point where it's like stagnant feeling and you're just checking the box. Whereas when you're really doing the program the right way, you're not just checking in the box. Like you're taking what you're reading, you're writing detailed notes, and you're coming up with things to, like, maybe if you want to start a business, or like, like with me with the art thing that I'm trying to continue to stay consistent with, like that could be a task list on my power list, to draw for an hour after the kids are asleep, and record a video and then have the video ready to upload, or maybe the following day edit that video and have it ready to post. It's
Mm-hmm.
little things like that, because you know like we talked about earlier today, like we talked about YouTube and stuff. It's like when I first started that my channel, within the first 2 months, I mean, I was doing a YouTube short every day, and the algorithm started to favor my consistency, because I mean, I went from, I'd get a couple hundred views, and then I was getting videos where it was like 1,000, 1,200 views within like the first 30 minutes the video was uploaded. And then I have a few right now that still kind of get some views where it's like 7, 8,000 views later, or 10, twelve
Yeah.
thousand views. Now those, they kind of took a little while to continue to be replayed and all. And I think I had mentioned to you, I had one video that it took off pretty good, where it's like right now it's sitting at like 135,000 views, one of my shorts,
Man, that's badass.
just from the drawing side of things. But I was also kind of like I was talking to Hunter, you know, because I had quite a few conversations with Hunter at the boot, and he was like, you know, just start recording. He even, like I told you, he shared me the Splice app and kind of showed me how to use it and like take audio from other videos, like extract the audio and put it as like a video over, because like that's a lot of what he does with his videos. And like I had heard of like screen record before, but I never even really like used it or knew it was a thing on my phone. And Hunter was at the shop one night. He's like, dude, look, do this. He's like, do however you're gonna do with your, you know, whatever you want to draw, and then do like how-to videos or do this or just time lapse. And he's like, go on TikTok, find something that's motivational or like that kind of pertains to what you're drawing. Screen record. He's like, I got a folder in my phone full of screen recordings from TikTok, and just and then, like I downloaded the Splice app. He's like, download this. Look, I'll show you right here. This is how you extract the audio. You delete the video. Now you have that audio attached to your video. Boom.
Yeah,
And it's really, it
badass.
was that simple. And
Hmm.
you know, like I want to get just like what you're doing, like how you're learning more about editing and getting more into the details of it. That's what I want to learn, become better at editing and doing the videos, and you know, like the snappy camera like shifts, cuts and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because I think what I'm doing, what I've started to do is look at all the big art YouTube channels and try to like see what they're doing, how they're doing their intro, how they're
Hmm.
setting up their title, how they're setting up their the thumbnail. Because I'm like, okay, how are they doing it? So all I have to do, because like I've watched Taylor talk about that, Hunter talk about that to me at the shop, and I mean Hunter's shared that Ryan Magin
Hmm.
from TikTok, who does nothing but video editing, and I watch his stuff a lot too. So I'm like taking stuff from them, but I'm looking at the big art channels that I'm like competing against. So it's like, okay, I have a skill. I got to brush up and get a little bit better, but it's all about like the marketing of the video too. It's like
Hmm.
advertising it
Yeah,
and who's going to
absolutely.
click on it, you know? So I'm like, okay. So that's what that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm going into like a little bit more research, but researching what they're doing to apply it to my videos. And I
Whatever you
want to
do,
see like over
whatever you
the
do,
next
Lance.
couple months, see how that works, you
Yeah,
know?
don't stop posting videos and doing the videos though while you're doing that research, because at least at
Yeah,
least you're pumping at least, even if you do three or four videos a week or something, but at least you're still
yeah,
pumping something out, because if not, like it's gonna be hard. Like we were talking about earlier, it's gonna be harder for you to get back started because that momentum is kind of gone. Where like if
yeah.
I don't know, yeah, you know what I mean though,
I,
right?
I could, oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I could see it because just like from the content creation standpoint, I was like zero subscribers, and then I was up to like 1,000 within 3 months of posting. You know, I started just doing a short a day. And then I was getting ahead a little bit to where, because Hunter was like, look, just do a live. And see, so he's been telling me to do the lives a long time ago. It just took you to get me to be like, just do it.
Yeah.
But it makes sense though, because if like I'm doing a live, but then I also have my other camera set up to where I'm doing like the actual different cuts, kind of how Taylor edits live and
Mhm.
interacts. You know, if I could do that where I have, because I mean, I have a Nikon back there, my wife's camera that I've been using for better video quality. So what I plan to start doing is like while I'm live streaming with my phone, have this camera set up to actually change the camera angles, do the cuts, but I can also build time lapse content from the live. You know, cut
Mhm.
out the audio or dim it down, add music, and that could be scheduled content, which
Yeah.
I did that for a little bit, and I'll tell you what, I know I'm sure you know this as much as well as I do, is having it to where you can schedule it to release or post is a lot easier than having to like do everything in one day and post, do everything in one day and post.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Man,
And I
my
think that's what
I had a
I
branding
kind of
coach,
got
man.
burnt out, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I get that 100% because you got to try to think of a video you want to do and then
Yeah,
edit that all in one day. It's like, fuck, man. And by the time you get it done and you put it out, it's like, dang, I'm exhausted, kind of. You know what I'm saying? And then
yeah.
then motherfuckers don't want to interact with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, I did all this work for you. Like,
I
but then
know.
again, like it's somebody sees it and somebody's like, "Dang, that's just fucking badass. Look at that."
Yeah.
It's inspiration. So
And it just
it's
depends
so
on
good.
when you hit, like, when, because there's so many factors that it changes. Because, like, I was watching this guy, Robert Benjamin, who would kind of like give you updates on like the YouTube algorithm and the TikTok algorithm. Like, he's got a channel built around just, you know, giving people information on content creation. So I was like kind of taking his advice, which I found it was working, but like I got away from it for a couple months and then I just kind of, and there was no real good reason why, just mentally it was exhausting because I was working and I was trying to get all that stuff done every day. I would have had to take, which I had planned many times, I just never came to fruition. I had a day where, okay, early Saturday, let me get up, like go run or something, go work out, take 4 hours and just do 3 or 4 videos. Have the raw data at least, and then work on editing it. And now I got a week's worth of content.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I plan to do from here on out because that
yeah.
whole trying to do one video a day, but go from drawing it, filming it, editing it, and posting it in one day.
It's a lot.
I'm not a full time content creator, so I can't do that right now.
Hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
next year if I stay consistent, I could do this, over a long period of time and build that momentum. Then maybe I could do something like that down the line. But just working a full time job and having a family, I can't just do it the way I was doing it. But there's a way to do it and still be able to, take care of all my other obligations.
Hmm.
It's
Lance,
just, doing it.
would you would you ever like do like a craft show of some sort, man? Because the venue, the Robinson Ranch, that I think November 27th or something like that, they're having a like a craft show over there. So like, I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
if that's something you would ever want to do, I mean, I think it's
Yeah,
their first one, and I think it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be a big deal.
really.
Yeah, cause
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna have to take that info down because that's something I definitely want to do. Get some of like the plaques that I'm working on, the little name placards,
yeah,
even some of the other little custom things that I've done are just like little drawings. Like I definitely want to do some some craft shows because outside of the YouTube and the
so
content side of like Instagram, social media, getting out there is the next step too, and kind of talking to people. And because I had an idea, like, because I was supposed to do like the nerd swap stuff, and I still want to do that. It's just the
Lance,
last few shows.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I had no idea
Like,
what Nerd Swap was till I talked to this girl at the art thing the other day. Like they go to
yeah,
this, like that's so cool, man. I think that's like the coolest thing ever.
when
Anyways, I'm
Hunter's
sorry.
actually, no, you're good. Hunter's actually who, like, and again, I can't remember. I was trying to tell you about her earlier. I can't remember her name, but she knows Sean, the one that like started Nerd Swap. So I talked to her. He connected me. She connected me to him, and then we connected. And I was supposed to do a show a couple months back, but then the one that they had available where they needed like the vendor spots were open. It was Emily's birthday that Saturday, so I didn't want to do that on her birthday. So I was like, well, I'll just try to do it the next month. And then the next month came and they were booked up. So I know they actually just did one like this past weekend too. So I'm gonna reach out to Sean and see about getting into the next show for because I know they do it at the Intercoastal Club, and
Hmm.
that'll give me some time to like make my own little banner and just have all my stuff ready to go. But yeah, I definitely want to do some craft shows too because that's another way to just get out there and show what I have and show what I'm capable of doing. And because I'm also wanting to get to the point where it's like this weekend, I told you earlier today I did like that commission. That's another thing that I'm open to doing is like this is the template of what I've done so far. So, I can do pretty much whatever you want me to do. You tell me what it is, what the name is, if it's cartoon characters or different things. I'm gonna do my best to make it look just like, it came off the internet, but
Yeah,
in my way. So,
yeah, that's cool. That's awesome, man. I want that stuff to blow up for you, bro. Like I want you to just be in your glory every single day, doing your art thing and just living your
yeah,
true best life. Like
me too,
I really
man.
want that
Like,
for you,
cause
bro.
me too. I appreciate that. And like like whenever you, because I know we were talking about that a couple weeks ago, and you was like, that's just like your natural passion, and that's like what you're meant to do, and like I don't know, like I used to draw. I was in gifted art a long time ago, and I got away from it with football and karate and different things, and then I drew a little bit here and there, and like not drawing for a long time. I was like, man, I still got it, like I still have it. I'm rusty, but I still have it. And then I started drawing last year and a half with my daughter, and it's like I've definitely been thinking about it. It's like it's just a God given talent that God's given me, and I would do him a disservice if I just squander that gift.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm like really just trying to continue to ramp up doing the art and getting better and better every time I do it, and getting better at the videos because like that's a marketing advertising part of it. um, that would be the ultimate goal, would be to do this full time and like practice different styles of art, like getting into canvas painting, and which I do like. I have like little mini canvases that I paint and stuff like that, but getting more into brush, painting, and just kind of exploring other avenues of art. And
Yeah.
you know, especially living down here, get the Cajun theme going on, get some Cajun style like art pictures and different pieces that I could put up for sale, and just do it for people too.
Yeah. LSU
Like I said,
too.
it just kind of, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Us Cajuns, we go nuts over some cool LSU, Saints, Mardi
Hmm.
Gras, whatever it is down here. And it's like my mom's been telling me that too, because she's like, this stuff like sells at these shows, and you could do it, and because she's the same way though. She's like really artsy, and she does a lot of stuff with baking and cooking and stuff, and it's like I guess I kind of get that from her too, like I've always had like just that natural talent, like I said, God-given talent, and who am I to waste that, you know?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm just trying
It's
to
your
find
gift.
my best way to share it with the world, and bring value to somebody else through my art is the main goal, the
Yeah.
ultimate goal,
No
you
matter what,
know?
like even just expressing yourself and doing it, I think is showing other people that they could do it too, because a lot of people, a lot of
Yeah,
artists are, they'll just kind of keep their work for themselves in a sense, you know what I'm saying?
right.
But you're brave
But
enough to show it and be like, look, this is what I do, this is,
yeah,
you know.
and and like I said, I want to be able to expand on what I am doing, because right now, typically I do a lot with like cartoon characters, because one, I have two kids, 7 and gonna be 4 here pretty soon. So I'm drawing stuff for them all the time, and they just love it. Like they get a kick out of it. They love it. They want me to draw stuff, put on their wall, and that's really where it started with these like plaques that I'm doing. Is I just kind of sketched something up from Bo. I sketched stuff up with Kinley, and I just painted it, and I like learned from it, and did different things, and I found out some stuff about it that I thought was a cool effect, and I learned a lot from YouTube. And then I was like, okay, here you go. Like, just here's me pouring some of that love out into my art as gifts for them, and I'm really excited to be able to share that with them too. Because like my little girl's starting to draw. Well, she's been drawing for like over a year now. Since I started redrawing, she's doing it as well, and I kind of want to help her cultivate that, more and more every day,
Mhm.
up to the point where very monitored, but I'd like to get her started a YouTube channel at some point, to where she could start putting her art out there, and it'd be something that we could do together, because
Yeah,
there's a
dude,
few channels,
that's
there's a
badass.
couple
Love that.
channels that we follow, that's what they do. It's like a family of them, and they all draw together, and they have a pretty big following. So it's like that would be another goal, is to be able to do that type of stuff with them.
Yeah.
And my son as well, like he's kind of starting to come around with it, so I want to kind of give him that nudge and that push to go in that direction if he wants to do it too. That way
Yeah.
we can all kind of do it.
So
So,
Lance, with your art stuff, like if everything works out just the way you want it to work out in a year and a half, 2 years, where do you see yourself?
so definitely, probably doing like doing some collaborations with other maybe local artists, you know, and creating some different things. I mean, I'd definitely like to turn it into also learning like graphic design too, just to kind of shift into that as well, but that just being another realm of it. But I would say definitely like almost creating a business out of, or not almost, but like creating a business like LLC, like design company, where I sell these, like the name placards and then going into other things for companies and, increase that like YouTube following and that reach to have more of like a, because like with that, what I really want to do with that, it's not just about me. I want to build a community. Just like what I've seen with a lot of those big art channels is that community of people where I could post something and like, okay, like, what do you guys want to see? This is really like your channel. What do you want to see done? So having that presence, but also within this community as well, being known throughout the community, I guess, to where I could have that impact, maybe even be able to paint stuff around town, like in the city, around the area, being able to design different things. I think just kind of finding myself and like we were talking about earlier, like trying to find my own style to kind of branch that out. I think that'd be really cool.
Gotcha.
You know, definitely being able to, and if I could do that full time, working from home or even like traveling, I think that would be cool. And have that little more of like that freedom to be able to still do what I want to do with my kids and have
Hmm.
even more of a hands-on approach with them, and also showing them like, look, like this turned in from just a hobby, and now it's what I do. And that would be the ultimate goal with it for sure.
Yeah, and it'll
So
prove to them that they could do whatever they want to do too. You know what I mean?
exactly, showing
And
them because one of my biggest just thoughts that I have a lot, and I hear it like in some of the pages that I follow, is like I don't ever want to give up on my dreams because then that shows them that well then you shouldn't follow through. Because I listened to something, I don't remember who it was, but they're like, you kids will find out really quick whether you say whether you're full of shit or not. Basically by what you say and what you do is they'll be able to decipher pretty early on if what you say is what you do. And I definitely want to be not perfect by any means, but continue to get better and better about if I say I'm going to do this, like I'm going to do it. And I can show you that by you just putting your mind, that old like cliche saying, like you can put your mind to it, you can do it. That is really true though, if you really focus that energy towards it. And if it's something you really want, like don't say no. Don't take no for an answer.
hmm
Because realistically looking at it for them, as far as like them and their future, I'm not going to be somebody who push you like you have to go to college, you have to do this. You don't want to do that, that's fine. You have a dream, go after it.
hmm
You know. Now I'm gonna be real with them. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna
Right.
be given to you. Just like with this, like this is, I'm still trying to figure this out, and this ain't gonna be given to me. But I don't want to quit on it because
It should
I
get.
get the same. I get what I've experienced with it. It's like I get like that same endorphin feeling and high, like at the gym when I do my
Hmm.
drawings and when I do my
Yeah.
paintings and stuff. It's just like that same feeling,
Hmm.
and it's like I want to be able to replicate that. But definitely preaching that to them, like you want to go after something, it's going to take a long time, it's going to take a lot of work, and it might not even take as long as you think, as long as you stay consistent with it.
It's
Just
true,
keep going after it, don't give up
man.
on
Look.
it, and just keep going for it.
Yeah. Lance, for me, like that's part of my issue with the gym. Like the past week, I've been consistent, right? But the months before that, like I wasn't consistent. But the thing is I get that good, satisfying feeling, like with doing the podcasting and the coaching and stuff. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So I get
yeah,
that same satisfaction. So like I don't feel like I need the gym anymore. So like I could take a day off here, I could take a day off there, and then not
right,
affect me emotionally. You know what I mean? Because before,
right.
like I felt like I needed the
You
gym.
had to get it.
I needed to release that energy. You know what I mean? But now, like I feel like the creating stuff is it
It's kind
helps
of
with that.
fulfilling that. It's helping fulfill that for you.
but
Yeah.
but the gym, like you still have to do something
Oh
to
yeah.
get
I
yourself out of
mean,
that comfort zone, like something hard. So
yeah.
I do understand that too.
Like
One
you were
hundred
saying
percent.
today about, doing things with a different hand starting out or doing this or doing that different, like that little thing like that, it makes a big difference because like we were talking about habits and just being so ingrained in the habit loop. you don't even think about it. So when you go to put your shoes on, you put the same shoe on, you do it the same way. So like you were saying, you changing things up like that to where it's like, oh, the body's not going in that just regular,
Autopilot.
habit. Yeah, autopilot. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So you kind of shocking your own body by changing the shoe that you start tying first. But
Yep.
it's little things like that. And if you're able to do that in other areas too, like you said, the gym, different workouts, different things to shock the body. That's why if you do the same workouts, because when you first start out, you go see good results really quickly in the beginning. Then your body adapts to all of that. So now you got to change the stimulus. You got to do
Hmm.
different stimulus to the body. And it's the same thing with our minds. You could be in a mentally good place and like going through doing mentally hard things but if you keep doing that, you need to change it up a little bit and do
Hmm.
something different that's going to challenge you in a different way. Because once you kind of like master, you don't ever really master things, but you get to a high level proficiency, that like chase is kind of gone because now you kind of feel like, well, I've made it now
Hmm.
in this point. So maybe let's try something different to where now you were up here, now you're back down here. So you got to redo that whole journey.
Hmm.
And that's something that I'm trying to learn too, is like loving the process of like the creating and the building because and like I had a conversation with my advisor about this a few months ago, and he's like, it's very easy to just kind of get sucked into checking the boxes and like you have a goal here at point A, you want to get to point B. But if you don't fall in love with every single step in between, it's actually going to be easy to just be back in that same position where you were in point A because you really didn't take the time to appreciate all the hardships and all the steps that it took you to get to that point. So
Yeah.
it's like
That's true.
trying to take that step back
Yeah.
and
That
be
man. That's
present,
yeah.
you know?
That's something I'm realizing the past 5 or 6 months, man. It's not so much about the destination. It's more about the journey that gets you to that destination. That gives you that triumph feeling because at the end of it, you're like, dang, I did that shit. Fuck yeah, I did that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Yeah. You can feel good about yourself.
yeah, and like
But you
that
can also feel good about all the little wins that you accumulated over
alone.
that journey. So it's not just that one big high, like, hey, I did
Hmm.
it. And then because when you get to that point, you're like, okay, now what's next? you
That's the
know?
important part about the little goals that you set. You always set those
Yeah,
little goals and get them. And you're like, fuck yeah, I did that. Okay, what we got next? You know what I mean?
because
And
there's always
get
another
on.
hill to climb.
Always.
There's always another battle to fight. There's always another hill to climb, and it doesn't end. It's
That's
funny because I listen to David Goggins a lot too. Years pass, and I still kind of will go through his stuff, and he's like, you get to a point where you realize like there is no end, because
hmm
like he talks a lot about people wanting to retire, the good years and retire, and he's like, there is no, obviously there's a point that you can get to where you're maybe like more financially stable and you've accomplished a lot of your goals or different things. But, like from the way he looks at it, it makes a lot of sense is if you stop that process of like pursuing another like skill set or just a challenge, now you're starting to take steps back.
yeah, you
And
just
there's really no like retirement or just like not continuing to do something because then you start to kind of like die on the inside because now
yeah,
you're not actively pursuing something that is pushing you in a good direction.
yeah.
You know,
That's dude, I listened to Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor talks about that. Like either we're disintegrating or we're creating. You know what I mean?
yep,
There's like no in between.
yeah,
So and
absolutely,
and and at that point, if you retire and there's like nothing that you're working towards, you
yeah.
basically have nothing to live for. Like you wake
What do
up
I
in the
do?
morning like, what am I going to do today? You know what I
Like,
mean?
what do I
Like
do with my hands? Like, what am I gonna
like
do?
yeah,
You
So
know,
like it's yeah. At that point, like you said, you're dying.
yeah. And I mean, we're all dying, so you might as well die living. Like I got that tattooed on my hand because that's from one of the companies that I follow, and that mantra is die living, and it makes so much sense
Hmm.
because you know we a lot of us are living, and we're all guilty of it. A lot of us are living, but we're not living. We're just kind of again autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
We're dying regardless. So that clock's gonna end up ticking out one day, and we might as well give every day, the best effort that we can. And there's days when it's harder,
Yeah.
there's
Oh
days
yeah.
when you're hurting and you're sore and you're tired and you're exhausted and like you feel like you got the weight of the world on you. But that's why like every day I wake up, I thank God for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Thank Him for giving me breath in my body to wake up and you know having that gift of life again, because a lot of people didn't wake up today and I
Mm-hmm.
did.
Man,
So
you
I
know,
got to make
Lance.
every moment today count
Mm-hmm. You know,
as
Lance.
much as I can.
I think that's one of the most important things about setting the tone for the day, bro. Is having that grateful heart first thing in
Yes,
the morning. Because if you wake up in the morning like,
gratitude.
oh fuck, man, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to do life today. You know what I mean? And those days, if you decide not to do life that day, you're gonna have a bummed out, shitty day, and you're gonna probably feel like shit about yourself all day long. So
Yep.
fucking get up and go.
And then, and that's just gonna, yeah, absolutely, just do it. And that's
Hmm.
gonna, and then if you wake up with that, that's gonna, uh, that's gonna be passed on to somebody else. The first person you see in your household, you having that attitude, they're gonna pick up on that. Now their day's already, the tone for their day is already off
That's
because
true too. That's true.
you're off, and
Hmm.
you have little ones, and you come at them with that type of tone. Well, now you just set their tone for the day. So now everybody's already don't want to do today. And the thing is, like, even still, there's a lot of days I wake up and it's like, I really don't want to do today. But you know what? I am alive and I'm grateful to God that I am alive. So regardless of how I feel, let's just get up and let's make it happen. Let's
Hmm.
just take the first step.
Yeah.
Take the
And
first step
look,
out of bed and see
I'm
where
not,
it takes me.
and I'm not saying that like we don't need those recharge days where you like, you know what, like
Oh,
today,
yeah.
I'm not doing anything today. You know what I mean? But it's better to plan those days instead of waking up and like saying, I don't feel good
Screw
today.
it
You know what I
all.
mean? And like
Yeah.
just no, get the fuck up and go. You're
Yeah.
gonna feel better, I promise you.
Oh, yeah. And it may not turn out to be the best day that you had planned, but it's better than what you would have done if you would have just sat around and moped around all day and not
Hmm.
executed some sort of plan,
Yeah,
you know.
100%.
And that
100%.
definitely, that's the better way to go. Just because
Hmm.
like you say, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna have a better day. Just do it. Just get up
Hmm.
and do it.
Me
You
personally, I
know,
think that's why the gym in the morning is like the best thing because you get that shit done, you get those endorphins going, and you just feel
set
like
your
you can take
tone.
on the world in a
Oh
sense, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Because like I know whether it's I go run in my neighborhood, go weighted walk with my flack, or I get to the gym and work out before I start working, you know, like you said, that puts me in a good frame of reference. It just kind of gets rid of all that anger and aggression out, because if not, for me, that builds up in me. That's going to affect my home
Everybody.
life and everybody around me, and it's just not going to be a good day for everybody. So if I get that, I look at it
I
as my
get that.
responsibility to get that out before I have any other interactions with my family. That
Hmm.
way, I set the tone for myself and also set the tone for them. That way, they
Hmm.
start off on a good note.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I've been trying to get in a better habit, especially for my wife. I've not done the best job with that, but like I do like to write letters to my kids, and I've been mainly doing it for my daughter because she's 7. So I'll write these notes and draw a little picture and then put it on her, like by her lunchbox or in her bag. Now
It's
I'm trying
cool,
to
man.
get to where, you know, like the other day I did good. Last week I did one. I had one for Emily, I had one for Bo, and one for McKinley. And I feel like I'm not there to see y'all, but leaving that helps to set the tone of their day, even though I'm not there. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so I'm trying
That's
to,
cool, man.
I'm trying to just like pre-planning my content. I may just start to do those the night before. That way, if I wake up in a hurry, here you go. Letters are laid out. I got to get
Done.
going, but here you go. This is, when you wake up, read it, set the tone, you'll be good to go. You
Yeah.
know,
Just some words of encouragement, man. Sometimes
yeah,
that's the lifesaver for a lot of people sometimes, man. You know, just even a smile or something, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we have no idea the effect that even that little thing as writing a letter could do for Emily, McKinley, Bo, like you
Oh
just don't
yeah.
know the impact, like, and
Well,
it's good that you
and
do that, man.
I'm trying, and you realize the impact that it has whenever they're like, "Where was my letter this morning?"
Oh yeah,
My
oh baby,
daughter,
I'm so
she's so
sorry.
funny. She's so animated. Like my daughter, because I was doing it a lot. We lived in a trailer and got, got away from it and the move, everything was kind of busy and trying to get back to where it's like, okay, I got the time. I just need to put the time where it needs to go. There's no excuse. And, just getting them set up for the day. And they notice, they notice. Because like I had wrote something for my little boy because I was kind of waiting for him to get a little bit older. And I drew a picture of like Sonic on it. And he loved it. He wanted to take it to school with him. Like he didn't want to let
Oh
go of it. It's like, well, let's just leave it here so don't get messed up. So, and I'm writing like I'm trying to make it like a paper trail because I'm writing the dates on each one that I do. That way they can know this time this year that was when I wrote it, and just kind of have that to go back on
yeah, that's cool,
down the
man.
line. So
That's cool. I think
yeah,
that's an important thing to like document your recording, like your drawings and all that stuff, because
yeah,
whenever they're older and you're older, like those videos will always be on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And like
That's the cool thing
for, for,
about it.
for your grandbabies and all that stuff, like, man, like look at my pawpaw. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I don't know. I just think that shit is cool. I think that's
and
one of the coolest
especially if
things.
it's yeah, and it's always there, like you said, and it's
Hmm.
generations could go back and look, and it's like, yeah, that was my grandpa, or that was my dad.
Yeah,
And especially if it's something that just completely gets to the point of blowing up, and it's like, yeah, that was my pappy,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
And it will, man. It will. Like I'm telling you, it will.
Yeah.
As
Oh
long as you
yeah.
put in that work, like it's gonna work out, bro. It's gonna pay off.
And and I know that to be true because I mean I've done it already. I've seen what the consistency in a short amount of time will do in the gym. And because, like, 75 days, or say you throw another 30 days into that. So now you're over 100 days. It's a third of your year. It seems like a long time, but 100 days goes by like that.
Hmm. That's
And,
true. That's true.
it was funny because I talked to one of the members at the gym. He's actually one of my old team doctors, his chiropractor, Jake. And he was like, I was telling him about potential, trying to also go back to school and stuff. And he's like, do it. Because he's like, 5 years is going to pass whether you do it or not. So
That's true.
you got to just do it. And I heard that same like piece of advice from Myron Golden, the guy I was talking about today. He was like, because his biggest thing with content creation was like, if you like doing something and you're already doing it, turn the camera on. Simple as that. Just turn the camera on, document what you're already doing, and just upload it.
Hmm.
You're gonna be doing it in 10 years from now anyway, so you might as well just record it, upload it, and if it sucks, cool. You're gonna get better, you
Hmm.
know. And
Man,
I've
like
seen that too.
throughout the day, sometimes I was like, man, I would have just post a little story right quick of me just doing this little edit or something and just whatever, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Like and look, I
You talk yourself
swear,
out of it,
yeah. And like this morning I want to do like a video, like leaving the gym, like just a little encouragement for people, whatever, and like I talked myself out of it. Like, man, like I should have did it. I
right?
think I think that's something I'm gonna try to do pretty soon is showing up on my stories more, because apparently
I
that's
like
where
those.
everybody goes to connect with each other.
Yeah,
I don't
you get.
I don't get on stories that often. But I
Yeah,
haven't watched anybody's stories in 2 weeks.
right. Yeah, yeah. Because usually, like, and it's true though, because like most of the times when I pull up my Instagram feed and I see those stories up on the top, and like if I see Taylor's, if I see Hunter's, I see yours, I automatically it's a habit. I don't even think about it. I just click on it and I watch the stories, kind of
Yeah,
go through them. And like the
that's
one you
cool.
did, I think it was last week where you were leaving the gym and you was in your car. Like I love that because it was like kind of like your little bit of information that you might have thought about or kind of formulated while you was at the gym, or you had a conversation with somebody,
Hmm.
which is like the best way because you were at the gym talking to somebody, and you could tailor that and elaborate it to like a point you want to make on your story
Yeah.
following the gym, you
Yeah.
know, and it's fresh, but it's
Hmm.
relatable because
Hmm.
typically all the conversations we have, you and I, or you and like other people that at the gym, it's relatable to somebody,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, because
absolutely.
you know, and I think part of that is like we kind of not fear, but we just kind of, like you say, you talk each other out of doing things, but you post that video of you editing or even just you talking about something, it's going to hit somebody. It's going to stick
Hmm.
somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't know the impact that that has on them, but it does. You might not see it. And they
I
might not,
really.
like you said, they might not engage either, but they're still impacted in some way,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, dude, I'm doing one tomorrow morning.
There you go.
I'm doing a
There
story
you
tomorrow
go.
morning. I'm gonna
And
get
I'm
on
trying
there.
to do that too, you know, like with my stories and like with the pictures or things that I've completed, or even try to go through like showing like what my setup looks like, or also
Yeah.
going to be like the evolution of like my studio setup because like the room I'm in right now is our spare bedroom. And my father-in-law was staying with us for a while, but he's moved out and he's just kind of doing different jobs. So it was a good opportunity to create the studio, have the creative space. So, you know, we're gonna get like a art desk. I want to get in here, and I want to get like a little bit better camera setup to where it's easier to kind of swivel the camera around to do
Yeah.
the different like shots and cuts and stuff like that. So that's
That's
where
what
that research is going to come into. But I'm also going to like still be making content while I'm doing it, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but just kind of showing that too, you know, because like I look for that type of stuff. Like whenever somebody's story pops up, like with Taylor, I'm looking to see what he's already editing or his little bits of knowledge. And then like I joined his little broadcast channel,
Hmm.
and he's been sharing a bunch of like posts in there, and I'll go and click on it if I can and watch the video, and I'll like and share or save that video, and I'll like go rewatch it and try to like implement what they're talking about, you know,
Hmm.
because he shares great information from what he's learned, and then
Hmm.
he's already also connecting to other people and just sharing that with the masses, you know, because
You
we
know.
all have something like we talked about. We all got some sort of skill or something that we're good at.
Hmm.
And that's why I just bring that like the art stuff like back to God. Like God's our creator, and He made us to be creators. So it's
Hmm.
like let's just create, you
Yeah.
know, and use our
Absolutely, man.
skill to create whatever it is that we were meant to create and share with the world.
Yeah, dude, I
You
love
know,
that's so good, bro. Because that's what we're here to do.
yeah,
Truly, like in our own unique way, and everybody has their own unique way to do it, and
yeah.
a lot of people just don't realize it, and it's unfortunate for some, but at least us, the ones that know it, hey, let's fucking go and let's
Let's
show them that
double
hey, you could
down.
do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
because they got so many people out there that are talented in ways that we don't even know, and probably they don't even realize.
because they've
Because
been,
and I'm one to do that too. Like I'll downplay just being humble, like what I can do. Because like last night I was sketching out, you know, this little. I think I showed you the story, but I was like, if I could get it out. I was sketching this out, and Emily kind of came lay on my back, and I was like, you know, I was drawing this up, and she's like, I was just looking at a picture, but I was kind of doing like some like character design study, and she's like, "How are you so good?" I'm like, "I don't know. I look at the picture and I just mimic what I see, you know, and I'm able to conceptualize." And the true, like for me with this, I think the true skill is going to be able to take this, turn it into my own style, and create that brand off of my style,
yeah.
you
So,
know.
so, so what kind of like your style? Like, what do you think is your style? Do you know yet? Like what you
No,
like?
that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's and it's kind of like I'm like, man, this is gonna be hard, but it's in a way it's like exciting because I'll be able to find out like taking elements from different pieces of art or like different styles and kind of combine them together with what I like to create something because I follow all these creators and all these different artists and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, and
What
I
about
even What's
What about
that?
like military pictures and stuff like the flags and like just like
That's something that I
like
do want to, and
I don't
that's
know.
like I said, like lately it's been like the cartoon characters, like video game characters and stuff, because like that is something that at my core grew up, you know,
Yeah.
sports and all, but at home I'm just a big nerd too. I like playing Xbox and video games and having kids, but that's other areas that I want to like go into as well. Do some like Marine Corps style like pictures and the flag and maybe even some like war like old school like war kind of scenes, I guess, like World War I,
Mm-hmm.
World War II, Marines in battle or something. Just
Mm-hmm.
kind of something where it's a specific style depicting some old wars and different things like that. I think that would
That's
be pretty
cool.
cool too.
So
You
in a
know.
sense, like it's like you at that point where you gotta kind of like find your niche, kind of, right? Like,
Yeah, because it's like the art is my niche, but it's kind of like now I'm at a point of like, okay, what do I have to bring to the table that will set me apart? And I can brand myself like this is my style. Because like I already have a pretty good name. It's Rebel War Pig Designs
mm-hmm.
is what I've come up with. So it's like, okay, what is Rebel War Pig Designs specific style, like
Mm-hmm.
niche specific style in the art like community? So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm in that like discovery phase of like
Yeah, that's cool, man.
at scratch in a way because I have the raw talent, but now I'm like, okay, how do we create something with this that will build a brand?
So
Because
what else
going back
does?
to what you've kind of going back to elaborate what you talked about, like from a year from now, would be another thing would be to have developed pretty profoundly what my specific style would be and like my brand would be,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
I think
So,
that's a elaborating on that a little bit more.
so what does Lance love? Like, what do you absolutely love? I mean, I know you love your family, your kids, your wife,
Uh,
drawing. You love drawing. You just love. Like, what do you think
uh,
you would love to draw?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, because I like so many different things. Because working in like in the body shop for a while, I do like cars and like motors and stuff like that too. So like that would be some kind of different element that would be cool. I don't know though. That's definitely something that I'm kind of in discovery of as well. Like, what's something else, or what's the other areas that I would? I mean, I did do like a little canvas painting that's in my kitchen where it's like a landscape, but it was like I do like blending colors. Like I find that I do like taking like a couple different colors on a blank canvas or even just a piece of paper and just kind of like shading them together and blending them together. And I've always been drawn to lately, like because I watch these art videos with my daughter, and there's this one that we watch, and they take like a little round canvas, and they'll like blend colors together to make like a background, like the sky, but they'll have it like taped off, and then they pull the tape, and then they make like a scene. So maybe something with nature, like maybe something, you know, like it's because the one I did, it has like the moon, but like the top of it is like a bluish, like purple color, and then I did like the reflection of the water on the bottom side, and then in the middle of it, it's like a mountain range, and then there's like the stars in the sky and stuff.
That's cool.
So I think getting maybe doing that type of stuff too would be cool. And I mean, living where we live, here in South Louisiana, they got beautiful scenery with the marshland and the swampland. So I think kind of coming into our roots with that, you know, the roots that we have living down here, that would be pretty cool to kind of express, through that
Yeah,
art and that
absolutely.
like the
And
painting and stuff.
it wouldn't keep you secluded to just this one area because so many people leave the state and still want
Yeah.
to keep tied to the roots. You know what I mean? Then other people
Yeah.
see and they're like, "Man, that's fucking cool. I love that picture." You know what I mean? And
Right. Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think it's like the marshland and all that stuff. Like like those marsh pictures with the moss and the trees and stuff.
Oh yeah, the
I
cypress
always,
trees
always
and the
love those
cypress
pictures.
knees sticking up, and
Yeah,
you see like the sunset just kind of coming down.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think I don't know. I think just maybe play it. Not like I said, I'm at that point where I'm really good in one area, but I want to challenge myself in other like realms of art and find my way a little bit more through that and express myself in different ways because it'll come out in different ways, through different like styles. Because I love to do like with this, this is just pen and sketching, pen and paper, like blending markers. But like for my plaques, I do all the Posca paint pens. But I also do like I have a bunch of acrylic paint, and I like to mix the colors, and I like to do painting on like canvases, and I'd like to get more into doing that too. So it's just different. I mean, I'd like to try watercolor too.
Yeah.
Watercolor is something that I haven't done since I was a kid, and but it's a different like beast to tackle because there's so many things you can make look really good, and you can blend. I like anything that you can like blend colors together.
Hmm.
Make that like smooth transition instead of like hard lines. I do like messing around with colors and transitions and stuff like that.
That's
I think
cool,
that's
Lance.
pretty cool.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see where your art is going to take you and where you're going to take the art.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I want to, I can't wait to see it, man. Like, I know you're
Me
going to do
too.
big things because you have the drive, you have the desire. You know what I mean? That's all it takes is putting in that action behind that desire, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And before you know it, like shit's gonna be oh shit,
Oh
like the right
man.
people is gonna start coming into your life, and these other big
And
artists, hey man, like let's collaborate on this, and before you
yeah,
know it, like you'll be the one,
that's cool. Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Yeah. That's
And it's
that's
crazy how
cool.
fast things could change too, because next year you could be at a point where you're like, dang, like I did not expect this. I mean,
It's like since that episode me and Mo did, I would have never thought like this quick it could happen. And it can.
mhm,
Like you said, just that networking, and I think that's a big thing with it too. Is like like you and I talking, and like I have to say that like I'm honored to be on your show as well. I mean, I thought it was really
thank you,
cool that
Lance.
you asked me to be that because I mean I'm very type of person. I look at myself, I'm just like looking at myself as an average Joe. So I was just like, yeah, absolutely. I don't know what I have really to bring to the table. I mean, I know I have stuff to bring to the table, but I look at it as like, sure, I'm just a normal guy, but I love conversation and love talking to you and stuff like that. You have a way of bringing it out in people too, which is really cool, like you're able to help bring out what's kind of hidden in somebody, like that talent or whatever their passion is. I find that you help bring that out.
Thank you, Lance. I
So,
appreciate that, man. That's
of
look,
course,
that's I feel like that's my superpower, and that's what I love to do, bro.
yeah,
Like I love to explore and
yeah,
help other people explore too, and just dig in and like truly find like what they love, what they passionate about, and what they're here for.
yeah.
That's I love that stuff a lot.
Yeah, that's
Thank
awesome.
that means a
And I
lot,
think
Lance. I
that's
really appreciate that, man.
well, and that's, I mean, you're welcome. Like I said, it's, sincere from the bottom of my heart because I see it when I'm talking to you, but then I see it whenever you're interacting with other people. Like, I'm surprised you even are able to get a workout in when you do go to the gym because like you and I talk for 20 minutes or so, and it's like, all right, I got to go. And I'm like, okay, get your workout on. And then I'll just be doing something. I'll look up, and there you talking to somebody else, which is it's awesome. But it's like just because you have that energy, and it's like having that type of energy, it's like you recharge other people.
Hmm.
And I know that too can be taxing because, like I talked to you about that the other day, I was like, I really just think I'm very, very, very introverted. So like I love to talk to people and try to find out about their goals and stuff like that at the gym. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm drained. And I'm sure you get that because
Oh
of
yeah.
just you, how much of a light you shine out towards people and you recharge other people. So it's like, it gets pretty tiresome, I'd imagine.
Let's look. That's so. I I haven't really heard anybody say that like out loud to me before ever. But I appreciate that so much. You don't even know what that does to me, man. Like because like that's all I want to do is spread that light. Like
Yeah,
truly all the time. Like even at the gym, like sometimes like some people I could tell that they're in a bad mood or like I could read the energy, like something bad is going on with them kind of in their head emotionally or whatever.
right. They're like,
And yeah, and like that's the people I just want to go give them a hug and tell them I love you. You're amazing. Just just be happy. Like because at the
Be
end of the
low
day,
happy.
yeah, because at the end of the day, like none of this other shit is gonna matter. You know what I mean? So just
No.
try to live your best life and like let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Grief, resentment, like fuck all of that, man. Because
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter, man. I've dealt with so much shit through my life and with forgiveness and grief and all that shit, you know, like now it's like I ain't worried about none of that.
Right.
Like,
Well, you
you
just
know,
had a
because
good point to be able to push through all of that, you know.
mm-hmm, yep,
And now
yep,
that's being able to, now you're able to reciprocate that to other people
mm-hmm,
and show them, like, look, it is what it is. Like, you put a smile on your face, it'll make you feel better. Because you
yep,
already know you wake up, like we talked about earlier, if you already wake up and you just already have a frown on your face, you already going down that path of having a bad day. So whether you want to put it on or not, you put that smile on, eventually you're gonna get happy. You're gonna get in a better
yeah,
mood.
yep,
And you might not really be happy on the inside, but somebody sees that smile or the nice thing you said to them, it's gonna make them feel a lot better about whatever they might be going through, you know,
mm-hmm,
in that moment. And that can completely change the trajectory of their day, their week, their month, you know.
mm-hmm,
And
yep,
but it's just that small thing that you don't even really know what impact you have. But I know for you, like I said, it's this right here, that big smile you got. Because every time I see you, I can see you from across the gym, and I'm like, yes, indeed, like that's where it's at. If I could be like that all the time, if we could all be like that, we'd have a lot less issues.
Lance, you the man, bro. You made my whole day today, bro. I appreciate you, dude. I
You
really,
too,
really,
man.
really do, really do.
You're the man, bro.
You the man.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it as well.
Well, good deal, Lance. We're gonna roll out with that, brother. I think.
Well, I do have a little something else. I was going to start with this, but we just rolled into a great conversation. But I do
Yeah, we
have a little
did.
something there.
I need to
So this is just part of a token of my appreciation for you having me on the show, and also just the great conversations we have. So I got this for you.
stop playing, dude. That's fucking badass.
This is why I
What,
asked you what. This is why I asked you what your favorite color was the other
dude?
day.
With the logo? Holy shit,
Yeah, see if you could.
dude.
There's
Lance,
your.
bruh, I fucking love that.
There's your. Because you're
The
always
BMO
smiling.
happy, dude. Oh my god.
And then
Headphones,
I found a
podcast,
podcast, and then your boy got the headphones, and then I did the glow effect with the brick wall. So
dude. Can I use that picture forever,
yeah, this is yours, man. That's why
man?
I was asking the other day. I made this up the other night, and it's actually got like whenever you hold it to the side, it's got like a shine to it. All the acrylic paint has a acrylic sealer on it. So
Oh shit, that dude. That's gonna be
yeah,
on my background.
there you go. Like I said, this was just a token of my appreciation, just for the good talks and the conversation we have, and then you just having me on the show. Like I thought it was really cool, to be on the show,
Lance,
and I had to go out with the Rebel War Pig Designs fashion and hook you up with one of your own plaques.
dude,
So
I appreciate that so much, Lance. Like that is fucking badass. I can't wait to show my wife. Oh my god,
I did this.
that's
I
so
did this
cool.
like the other night when I was asking you. That's what I pretty much had it done that night. So
Dang, you even did the logo. Look at and the logo is flawless. Love it.
I'm
All right,
down.
Lance. What tell Miss Emily thank you for letting me borrow you for a little bit.
I sure will.
And
Absolutely.
that's awesome, man. I appreciate you so much, Lance.
Thank you. I appreciate you, boss.
All right, Lance. I'll see you in the morning, brother.
Yes, sir.
Have
Have
a
a
good
good
night,
night.
brother.
You too. Thank you,
All
bro.
right, man.